Okay, here we go. Ready?
Here we go. First page.
Sign the pages.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss.
2011. Here we go.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
Julie Ray can run that. Oh, that's your page. You get 3, 4.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, Grinchy frown at the warm, lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville was busy now hanging mistletoe and they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers, nervously drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early, and they'd rush for their toys. And then, oh the noise, noise. That's one thing that he hated, the noise. Stop recording, Dad.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
He's just resting his hand. Okay, I get to read the next page, too.
Okay. Shannon, Emmy's going.
Gracie and I will read this one together. Okay, ready? Here we go, Gracie. Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least.
It said feast, 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 feast.
You're right, honey, it does.
Not feast and feast and feast and feast. It's feast,
And then they do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Auntie Cucka's turn.
Okay.
Go sit, go stand up, go watch.
Here, Anna, we'll read together. Come here.
You ready?
Your dad's only recording the people that are reading, so come sit on my lap.
Oh, wait.
Come on, man.
I read.
Go listen.
This was Bill DeCourcy.
Then he got an idea.
Meg, did you get your paper?
An
Okay.
awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
Oh, that was great.
Good job, Em.
Good job, baby.
Help Gracie.
Watch your wine glass.
Ready? What's this letter, Grace? Oh, you stink pot. She's already.
No, you want to rum and coke?
I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and he clucked. What a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. That was your page.
Was it?
We'll be right back.
Poor Max.
This next page is Megan, Rose, Shingle, and Laura.
No, we read that a long time
Megan,
ago.
Rose,
Oh, God, I
and
should have
Shingle.
dated it.
Then you ready?
It was before they got married.
Look, some
What's that word?
loaded some bags and some old sacks, empty sacks on the rain.
What's that word? Ran. It's a ramshackle. It's a crazy word.
Ramshackle.
It's a made-up word.
Sleigh. What does he ride in?
H-G-H is sleigh.
Sleigh. And
It's okay.
he hitched up an old Max.
Good job.
Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" And the
Remember that word over here?
sleigh started down toward the home where the Who's lay a snooze in their town.
Okay,
You know who
give it
you
to
can
Jono.
YouTube this to? You can YouTube
Jono,
this to Grandma
read with
Mary.
Gracie.
She'll love it.
Okay, here, then read with
Grace,
Lou.
come here so we can send it to Grandma Mary. We can send a YouTube to Grandma Mary. Grandma
High five,
Sunshine.
sister girl. High fives. Awesome. Oh, awesome job.
Read with Dada. Okay, John, Laura, get that one.
I got it.
All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house in the square,
Oh, yeah, I'm full.
"This is stop number one," the old Grinchy Claus hissed. And he climbed to the roof, empty bag in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue. When the little Who stockings all where the little Who stockings all hung in a row, the stockings, he grinned, are the first thing to go.
Really? 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 Really?
Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorns, and plums. And he stuffed them into bags. The Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimbley.
Chimney?
Have some cookies, she said.
Chimbly.
It's a chimbley.
Robbie's turn.
It's on my cup, on my paper.
Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash.
She wants to.
Was reading 2 pages?
Yeah, read a couple.
Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney. It's not chimbley.
It says it on the other page.
Okay. Chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I'll stuff up the tree. How come the grown-ups are this? The kids aren't even here.
Well, you know what? I hope that the girls will carry this on. That's what I'd like, is for them to read it. So.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. And he heard a small sound.
Next year, maybe we
like
should
the
sit around the tree and do
He
it there.
turned around fast and he saw a small
Too
who, little
much is going
Cindy
on.
Lou Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cold cup of water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
You want to finish?
But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie and he thought it up quick.
Brzezinski still.
Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there. I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child, and he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney, and he stuck the tree up.
Hey, that's what I did, Grandma.